and thank you so much for joining me for Scrappy Sunday. My name is Sharon Rogers, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine. And each Sunday, I've been bringing you, for a while now, a memory keeping project. And for the past 4 weeks, I have been bringing you something from the month by month album retreat kit that Stampin' Up! Put together. They held a virtual retreat, and now I'm finally going through them and doing them as intended, but you of course can always switch things up. But I wanted to show you each one as they were intended, and we are now on month 5, which is May. We're going to remove our pieces from the bag and separate them into our left and right page components. So we have 2 12 by 12 white willow cardstocks that are our base. And then you have 2, and this is 1 for each side, 2.5 by 12-inch garden green and white floral designer series paper. We have 2 10-inch by 2.5-inch Darling Duckling grid designer series paper, 1 for each side. And we have 2 10-inch by 1/4 inch of that same Darling Duckling grid paper. We have 2 pieces of the 10-inch by 1/2 inch garden green hexagon DSP. Then when we get to our black and white, you can see that we have 3 different pieces. So it's a little bit different here. These 2 shorter pieces, which are 3 1/4 by 1/4, they go on the left, and the 4 1/4 by 1/4 goes on the right. Then we have some Misty Moonlight pieces here, and the 2 longer ones, which are 3 by 12, they get split up. And then there's a shorter one. You can see this is a little bit shorter. That one goes on the right-hand side, and that measures 3 1/2 by 11. And then we have a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 photo mat. That largest one goes on the right-hand side. We have 3 that measure 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Let's see, that's these right here. One of those goes on the right, and we're actually going to turn it to make it 4 by 3. And then the other 2 go on the left page, along with the 3 by 3 Misty Moonlight photo mats. And then we have a piece of white willow that measures 2.5 by 6 inches. That goes on your right-hand side, and one that measures 3 by 1.5, and that goes on the right-hand side. So now we've got these split. Let's figure out what else we need. We might bring in the photo mats right now and just place them so we can take care of that. All right, I found my photo placeholders. As with the other projects that I've already done, I'm just going to adhere those to the mats so we have an idea of what pictures quickly at a glance we'll need, what photos we'll need to add to our album when we're ready. So there's the 3 by 4, and we'll do the rest of them. From our colorful die cut package, we're going to need a few things from here. If you flip to the back, you'll see that they are numbered, which is very helpful. So we need to find all the project 5s. So here's a project 5. I'm just going to that's a garden green circle. I'll put them in a little bin so I don't lose them. And then we've got this little project 5. That's one of the Darling Duckling circles, as is this one and this one. Then we need 7 of the project 5 white circles, which are these larger ones. Now I was panicking for a second because I only have 5 here, and then I noticed I have 2 of these circles that say project 3. They're the same size circle. It's just that these ones were the 5 and I used them on the 3. So we'll just make that adjustment right now. Let's see, let's get this circle back where it goes. at this point, I probably have enough taken out that I could remove all of these die cuts and just sort through them based on the number on the back, but we'll just keep going. I'm going to use these ones that I mentioned. Let's see if there are any other Project 5s. I see some 11s and some 8s, 9s, 2s. That's it from here. And from our other die cut package, we will need several pieces. We will need one of the large flowers. And let's get this one out of the way. Maybe you can see it a little bit better. So we'll need one of the large flowers, one of the hearts. And these aren't done on the back because these are stamping pieces and we're going to get them wrong. So it's nice if we can go on the other side. We will need 3 small flowers. And so that's these ones over here as well. So 3 small flowers. We need a banner. The banner is on the other sheet. This banner. And we need a scalloped half circle. So let's see if I can find the scalloped half circle. Gets a little bit tricky after you've taken a bunch of stuff out. Oops, scalloped half circle kind of looks like a rainbow. And let's see, did I take out the heart? I already took out the heart. I think that's all I need from in here. Oop, I think I might be wrong. I think I might need one of these little leafy things. I think. We'll see. We can put it back if we don't need it. Oh, I do need 2 of these pre-cut circles as well. We're going to stamp on those. And last but certainly not least, we need a couple of these pages. We will need the sunburst pattern. And let's see, how can I get into this? There we go. We need this large sunburst. Oh, I think we need the half sunburst. If you look at the sample, it goes right up here at the top. So that's, we only need half of it. It doesn't go the full page. So we need that half one. And of course we need our title, which is May. So we'll come in here and these are in order. So we can just take this one out. Oh, I think this one is a full word. So sometimes they have been coming with in a couple parts. Like the one capital might be different, separate from the others, but that is one complete word. All right. Our first prep step is to apply some Darling Duckling to this sunburst paper. Ooh, my Darling Duckling is very juicy. Let's see. And you'll start more in the center because that's where you want it to be a stronger color. And then you'll just radiate out. And get that to how you like it. Let's get a little bit darker here. And so this is resist paper. There are glossy parts that are resisting this ink. And that looks pretty good, I think. right. An important step is to buff off this with a soft cloth. So I have just a, I don't know how soft it is. It's just a paper towel. And that just removes the ink that is laying on top of those glossy parts. So it doesn't come off on anything else. So you can see some of the ink has come off. All right. So that is done. And we're also going to apply the blending brush, the Darling Duckling on the blending brush to the centers of 1 large and 3 small of the flowers. So that's this. Seems like we might want to stamp first, but in fact, I'm going to go ahead and stamp first, even though it doesn't say to stamp first. Let's get out our flowers. Now, if you've been following along, you know that lining up this large flower has not been my strong suit. I'm bound and determined I'm gonna get it this time. So let's see. I'm gonna maybe line it up here first. Ooh, I think I might have found the right way it goes. I did. Quick, don't breathe. Stamp on it, Sharon. All right. So that's gonna go like that. Get my Memento ink out. Ink that up. Try to hover over it. Not bad. Way better than the other attempts that I've made. And then if I get my small one out, the small flowers right here, these were significantly easier to line up. All right, need to make sure I'm on the correct side. I can see my petals sort of swirl this way. See how much easier that is? I don't know if you can hear my cat meowing in the back. I think he's mad because I'm not letting him in. Sometimes. He's just a morning meower, and I'm filming this in the morning, so it makes sense. All right, we will clean those up after. Let's go ahead and get our little flower colored in the center. So we're not really coloring it, we're just adding a bit of color. Just a little bit. Just a little bit in the centers. Probably a smaller blending brush would have been wiser here. Oh, I'm finding the tapping technique works pretty good. There we go. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. This one looks a little off center. It's fine. All right. Well, we're done with that, those pieces. And now we're going to stamp the banner in Tuxedo Black. So let's put these aside. And we will find our banner. Our banner's in the other stamp set. And let's long and skinny, flip it upside down and put the stamp block to it. All right. Get our Tuxedo Memento Black. We'll stamp our banner. Get up well. And let's see if I can get over this so that I can see it. I hope that's pretty good. Not bad. I'm not perfect, but not bad. But it's going to go on a white back, so it will be fine. All right, so if I'm looking in my directions, let's just kind of check off what we've done here. We've done the sunburst. We've done the flowers. We've done the banners. Now I have to stamp in review in Garden Green ink. You know what? I am going to do a May in review because I am making this month to month. So I'll go ahead with the in review in Garden Green ink. On the far right of the piece, you'll trim the left edge later. So if you look at this banner, it's really not the whole banner. It's just one half of it or one portion of it. Let's free up a block here. Clean our blocks. Clean our stamps. Put at least our flower away. I guess we can put our other flower away as well. And we want the in review. And in review is also from the flower stamp set. It's the other half. And we need to find in review. Let's see, in review right here. Sometimes it's hard to see when they've never been inked before because they're clear, which means they're see-through, so it's hard to read. So and it said stamp this all the way to the right. And we'll cut it later. There we go. So that's done. Let's put this one back. All right, what step are we on next? Stamp the scalloped half circle in Tuxedo Black and highlights in the Garden Green ink. So the half circle, that's right here. And we'll go back to our banner set here and replace the banner with the half circle on our block. It's interesting. I don't think I would have called this a half circle. I think I would have called it a rainbow, but perhaps I didn't because that makes people think they're going to color it, but it still looks more like a rainbow than a scalloped half circle to me. All right. Now, if you get this one wrong, you can always do it again because it has symmetry to it. So one side's the same as the other side. But look at that, about as well as I could have done that. Ooh, it doesn't always go that way. But you know what? Despite that, things always still turn out pretty well. You are going to be your own worst critic every time. All right, so we've got that one stamped. And then we have to do, then we have to do the highlights in Garden Green. So highlights is a curved one. Let's see. This one goes here. Highlights is a curved. So that's easy to find. The curved one's right here. Put that down, pick it up. It's almost like I'm at Planet Fitness. Put things down, pick things up. There we go. And that one is stamped. I'll clean that one and put it back. Now, where are we? My pen stopped working. There we go. Stamp the plus sign heart in tuxedo black on the, well, on the pre-cut piece. So that's going to be the heart piece. So the plus sign heart. So it's easier to look at what's on here. So it's not in this particular set. It's in the other one. So the plus sign heart is going to be this one right here. We've used that before. You can tell because it's stained with a pink or a purple or a red. Okay, I'm going to do that in tuxedo black, it said. Okay, there's my heart. Good. Next step is to stamp the plaid circle in Darling Duckling. All right. Let's put this away. And plaid circle in Darling Duckling. So here's the plaid circle. And I've got my Darling Duckling out. And I need my circle pieces here. I think stamp the plaid circle on. All right, so if I look in here, looks like there's one up there. You know what? I think this one down here is just stamped on the page. Let me just go quickly and look, and yes, it is. So that one's stamped. So I don't know if this is the right circle or not. This one looks very large. I'm going to go back to my die cut. I think it's this circle that I want right here. There's only one of them. I thought I needed two, so I figured this one was the wrong one. But I was... So here's where we're going to go with this. We're going to take our little plaid circle. And this is the first time I'm inking this up. Let's see how well it stamps. Oh, pretty good. So sometimes you want to, the first inking, you want to just clean it first. Ooh, good job. If I do say so myself, which I do. All right, we'll clean that one. And put it back before we lose it. Always a good plan of action, especially with smaller stamps. All right, where are we now? So we've done the heart and we've done the plaid circle. Stamp the burst cluster in Darling Duckling on the 3 by 1.5 inch piece. So up here, you can see the burst is in the back of all that. Now I have put my pieces back in here in the envelope just so that I don't lose them. I'm going to stamp my burst. And remember, if you can't remember what each particular image is, you've got them here. So there's a large burst, and I don't think that's the one that they want. Let's see. Stamp the burst cluster. So we need to find what is the burst cluster, and that's this one right here. So in our stamps, let me show you it. The burst cluster is this one. So it's this one right here. And I'm going to stamp that all over the back of this piece right here in Darling Duckling. And I think you can do a couple of different generations of stamping. Oh, I got an edge over there, but it kind of just looks like the burst cluster, doesn't it? So no worries. Try to change up the orientation here. And if you are upset about that, guess what? There's a second side. So before you change over to the second side, you need to make sure that your stamp is clean. Now you can avoid some of this simply by choosing a block that's smaller. We no longer have the A size block, which I'm kind of sad about, but I'll get over it. And if you go too fast, that's when, at least I find, I am more apt to catch an edge. All right, I think that looks pretty good. And that one is done. While I'm cleaning, I'll read Stamp Happy in Tuxedo Black on that same piece that we've just been working on. All right, so we'll put this cluster back and we will look for Happy. The cluster didn't come from this one. It came from, where did it come from? It did come from this one. Let's see. So if I'm having a hard time figuring out where things go, I will line them up. And oh, there's that spot. That's where it goes. Okay. Now I need the word happy. Is that in this one? Happy is in this one. So let's find happy. Happy's right here, off at the edge. All right. And I'm going to stamp that in Tuxedo Black. And if I look at my sample, Happy is in the lower left corner. And there we go. And then I'm going to stamp the berries in Garden Green. All right, so it doesn't look like I stamped the berries in Garden Green on the white, on this piece as well. And then adhere it to the Misty Moonlight piece. All right, so let's put this one back. Happy, happy, happy. It's right over here. Let's see if we can find the berries. Berries right here. And if I look at my sample, the berries are going to go just above center, really. Just above the center. So it's going to look kind of like that. So this piece right here that I thought I might need can go back in my die cut bag. All right. And then it says adhere this to the Misty Moonlight piece. And it goes on that shorter Misty Moonlight piece that we had in here. So let me find the shorter of the two. That's the one that had the picture. And I already put the photo mat, the photo placeholder on there. So I know that this is going to go right up at the top. We can just adhere this and use your favorite adhesive. Right now I'm almost out of glue, so I'm not sure that this is my favorite adhesive. I need to change bottles. We'll do that in a minute. And this goes, let's get it so that 3 borders are the same. You know what? While I'm here, I know I'm going to be taking one of those flowers. Where's my flower? What did I do with my flowers? Well, you know what? I'm gonna not put my flower on right now because I can't find them. We'll just clean this and put it away. All right, I found my flower. It was off to the side where I'd put it for safekeeping. Now I just need to attach this to my piece. And I'm just going to use a dimensional for that. And so that part is done. Let's see, we go there. There we go. And I'm going to put this back in my envelope. Next step is to stamp the striped border, which is right over here. I'm going to stamp that in tuxedo. Nope, we're going to stamp it in garden green and the plus sign border in darling duckling ink. So I also need the plus sign border, which is this one right here. Let's find the right block. All right, this block will do. All right, and we're going to do that on that other white piece, the white willow piece. If I bring in my sample to see kind of what they're talking about, I have this border and then the plus signs below it. So I got to leave a little bit of a space, and it looks like about the space of 2 of these stripes. So I'm going to start that there. If you want to use a grid sheet to help, don't put your finger in ink. If you want to use a grid sheet to keep yourself a little straight, you can. I'm just going to wing it. There we go. Oh, not, you know what? I'm going to wing it and try it again. Let's see here. Better. Not perfect, but better. And then we'll take our darling duckling and we'll put this right underneath it. There we go. Ugh. Wow. This is what you get for stamping around a camera. At least that's, we'll go with the first side. How about that? We'll go with the first side. And you know what's not going to matter, because this is going to come up like this a little bit, so it'll hide it. Perfect. Just what I want. We're going to put this up on dimensionals and take care of that right now. Let's go ahead and use 3. Okay, and I can see that this is going to go, right about here. There we go. Oh, let's straighten it. Straighten it. There we go. All right. Just a few more stamping things to do, I think. Looks like we need a little heart on some of these yellow pieces that we have here. Now, I want to call attention to the fact that on this particular piece, it looks like they have used a printed, computer-generated piece. I can't put this piece through my printer. Even if this stuff wasn't there, I couldn't put this through my printer as it is, just because it's already cut. My printer doesn't take that. So I will probably write on this, handwrite it anyway. But if you were to pre-print, you'd want to start with a full sheet so that you could run it through your printer. Or you could just take another piece of willow white, run that through your printer, cut it down to size, and put it here. That's up to you. I'm just going to handwrite on this. I think it'll look better anyways. And I don't know that I'm going to use these numbers to specifically talk about each picture, which is what they do there, in addition to some other highlights. So I'll probably just kind of summarize what happened in May right here. So let's go ahead and take out these Darling Duckling little pieces here. Let's see, right there. There are 3 hearts. Those are going to go on this particular piece. And I also need a curved arrow that's going to go on this piece. All right, so if I go in order, curved arrow is in this one, which I can put back my pieces that I just took out of here once I clean them. I have a lot more blocks, but I choose not to get them all out because if I have too many going, first of all, my surface area is going to be eaten up very quickly. And when that happens, ink accidents happen. So it's better to just use a few blocks, I think, and clean them as you go, put them away as you go. Now let's find the curved arrow that's right here. And it says you're going to stamp the curved arrow in Tuxedo Black on the garden green circle. So what did I do with my Tuxedo Black? It's right under here. And that goes really towards one of the edges. Just like that. And then I'm going to stamp the large and small flowers. We already did that. I'm not sure why they didn't have us do that first. And then it says we're going to stamp the numbers. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the numbers, but just in case I do, I can certainly go ahead and stamp them now on these circles. It's 1 through 7 because I have 7 photo areas. I think this is a good time to speed things up since I can just pick out my numbers here and then go to town. Now, did you see that I was placing them here instead of just cleaning as I went? Now they're on one big block, and I can just clean them all at once and put them away. And I would have been smart to put them in the exact order that I need them to stay in, so I don't have to look, but that's all right. 2s and 5s are hard to tell apart. And just like that, those are back where they belong. I'm going to stamp the open heart in Tuxedo Black on the Darling Duckling pre-cut pieces. So that's those little tiny hearts. The open heart right here. Let's see. It's right here. Right up in the corner. So I'm going to take these, put them aside, bring out all my little yellow heart, little Darling Duckling circles, and stamp the open heart in Darling Duckling. So tone on tone. One, 2, 3. Here we go. that might be all the stamping that we need to do for our prep work. You know, there's a little stamping when we go to assemble, but that might be it for now. All right, let's put my stamps out of the way here. I'm going to put these pieces back in so I don't lose them. I mean, I could probably adhere this to where it goes. Let's see, that was page 2. And this is going to go right here. This photo, it's just tacked down a little bit with a couple of glue dots. So we can put that wherever it needs to go. And let's go ahead and put those little hearts on. Because these little hearts floating around in the bag waiting for my photos, I'm not so sure that's going to work out well for me. Where's the other little heart? There it is. Let's just put these on. I don't think they need to go on with dimensionals, but let's see. I think let's just do these with regular glue dots, which I have an abundance of somewhere. Old paper pumpkins. And we're going to put one right up here. And we're going to put one down here. And then we'll put the other one it's about midway. I'll go about here. We can glue this down to the page. Now I can't add the little heart that goes on there yet because that's going to go over the photo as well. So I'm just going to adhere this down. Everything else will have to wait. So you can see that they've wrapped this with some white linen thread. I will not be doing that. I don't like that look at all. It's just not for me. So I'm not going to do that. I'll just have a nice clean sheet right there. So I'm going to put this section away and come back to it when I have photos, or at least when I put the page together. All right. Just a couple more things on here left to do, I think. Let's see, we've done that and that. Numbers 1 through 7, open heart. Tear approximately 1/2 inch from the right sides of the garden green and white floral paper. So remember these two pieces. You're going to tear about 1/2 inch from the right side. So make sure that you know which way is up. So this way I think is right side up because it looks that way from the stems. I'm going to tear about half an inch off. And if you tear toward you, you get that lovely white edge. So it's a little rough, and that's all right. I don't even know if this is 1/2 inch or not. We're going to call it good. And it's from the right side of both pieces. So that means this one as well on the right side. So you don't flip-flop it. did that. Then you're going to tear approximately 1/4 of an inch from one long side of the 3x12 Misty Moonlight. So if we get our Misty Moonlight pieces out here, there's one from page 1, and here's one from page 2. We're going to tear approximately 1/4 of an inch, so not a lot. So a small piece. Basically just enough to grab onto, I think. Tear it from the, it doesn't say whether it's light or dark, but ooh, remember, if it doesn't say, then technically it's supposed to be from the light. Well, too late. I'm taking it from the dark. I kind of like the dark anyways. I wasn't paying attention on the rest of them either. But the light and the dark will go together nicely. So even if I get some of the rest mixed up, I'll be okay. So you're going to tear 1/4 of an inch from one of the long sides. If you come back here, you get a piece that's just kind of weird to you, you just rip it off. There we go. All right, and now we're going to adhere the green DSP to the Misty Moonlight pieces. So you can see you have that. Now I think that looks just about like it's supposed to look, judging by my sample here. There's a nice wide strip showing. Perfect. Now, if you decided, hey, I don't really want to use the dark side, I want to use the light side, then you could just flip this over. The Misty Moonlight piece isn't showing anyway. I want to go in here and look at what I did with that other piece of Misty Moonlight. I think I used the dark side. I did use the dark side. So I'm going to make sure my dark side is up here as well. All right. It's not like they're two completely different colors. So it works. So we're going to just line this up here. Perfect. Yep. There's one. I'll do the same thing to the other. And then the last step of preparing was to adhere the photos to the photo mats, which we've already done. Well, we've done the photo placeholders. Same thing. All right, so our prepare section is now complete. Let's bring out the left side pieces that we need. We don't need that cat here. All right, and now let's go ahead and assemble our left page. So the first thing we need to do is we have our base page and we're going to adhere that sunburst pattern. So I set that aside. So let's bring that out. And that's going to get adhered all the way to the right and to the top left. So that's going to go there. And I'm just going to lay things out right now so you see how they're going to go. And then this piece is going to go right here. Then there's going to be a little bit of a gap. And we'll have this piece. And then this one is going to go in here, right like that. It's amazing what you can do with some strips. And then we will have we'll have our little green circle down here, and we're going to have to stamp. But let's adhere these pieces first. Now we need to adhere this piece. Nothing else going over there and underneath. I'm not going to make it on the right hand page with this glue bottle, that's for sure. That's going to go right over here. Perfect. Oh, so pretty, don't you think? Ooh, yeah, that's right. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to adhere the photos. So let's get these photos back out. And I know I have two 3x4s, and they get a little bit of a gap, and it's telling me that the photo goes 2 inches in from the side, and these bottom ones go 1 1/4 inch up from the top, or from the bottom. So let's see if I can find my ruler. I can't find it quickly, so we'll just, it won't matter. So we're going to adhere them. And what we could do is we could adhere them either directly, or we could do it with some dimensionals. I'm going to adhere directly, which means that I'm getting out a new bottle because I'm not going to fight on this. So let's go ahead and adhere this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to adhere this one first because I need to do something on the left. So this looks like it goes right about here. And then this one, I'm gonna be tucking this little green circle in. Where's my green circle? I'm gonna be tucking this underneath the photo. So I don't want to have adhesive right here in this section. So let's go ahead and do this. That's the empty one. No wonder it wasn't working. We can just do this. And this is going to go right here like that. I do need to stamp something first. So we're going to take that plaid circle, get out our stamps again. We're going to take the plaid circle and stamp that in Darling Ducklings. So let me get that plaid circle out. Plaid circle, where are you? Right here. And Darling Ducklings. And that's going to go, let's see, if we figure this is going to go kind of like that, then we need this just peeking out right here, like that. And then we can slip this guy in. And he's going to go about like this. Just like that. And let's put that down just so that kind of connects to the bottom. And then we need one of these little flowers, and we'll put that up on dimensionals. So I can see that that's going on in my photo. Now, I'm gonna make sure that the dimensional doesn't cover where the photo goes, because I need to replace this with a photo. So I'm gonna do that. All right, I can place these other two photo placeholders. Placeholders with mats. I need to throw that glue away because that one's not going to be of use to me. All right, and we'll put this one here. I love these colors together. They look so fantastic. And then this other one's going to go right next to it. Just like that. All right. Now, remember my in review and my May. I need to get those out. So my May is going to go right up here. And my in review, I'm going to cut. So let's get my scissors out here. And I want to cut probably right about there. So this is what we're going to have here. Just like that. Let's stick our May down. And I'm not going to put my adhesive right to the last little bit of the Y here, because I want to make sure that I can slip that in review underneath it. Nicely. So let's put this right about here. Let's hold it for a second. Let that glue set up. And then we're going to see if we can stick that in review right here. We can. I'm going to just angle this just a little bit to reflect the angle of the Y. And that's what we're going to do right there. So now we can put this down. Just like that. And now we just need to add some embellishments. All right, remember these two little strips that we had here? They're going to go at the bottom of these two photos. Just like this. Just add a little bit of interest down there. Let's see, make sure this is on camera. Here we go. We need our large flower, and that's going to go right over here, which is where it's going to call attention. It's going to start your eye going down here and going to the photos. Let's put a couple of dimensionals on there. I like to do 3 to make it balanced so it's not wobbly. Yeah, it's going to go right about there. I'll make sure that none of my dimensionals are going to cover up photo edges. I don't need these white pieces stuck down. And let's see, then we need some of our neutral matte dots. I'm going to take our white ones here. And let's see, let's put one down here and a smaller one, oops, right next to it. And then another smaller one out here. And we're going to put a couple at the top by the in review. Oops, well, we're going to add it with our fingers. Here we go. The only thing left to do, if we want to, is to add our numbers. If I decide to do that, I may or may not decide to do that. But that is our left page. We are on to our remaining page. Get all those pieces out. And we're going to start the same way that we did with the last one. And that's by adhering our grid piece. Now, it is important that we get this kind of matched up with the last page. So let's bring that back in because we want to have our stripes to look like they're one continuous stripe going across the page. I'm going to just line these two pieces up. And let's get out our Darling Duckling grid. And this one goes right next to the other one. And if you'll notice, it doesn't go all the way. It doesn't actually need to go all the way there. But this is what we're doing here. Needs to actually go on this side because we've got that we've got this piece that's covering up this side, right? So we didn't need it the full measure, but we did want to make sure it was the same. So you either have to kind of stack these. Whoops. I guess I need to make a boo-boo. I need to undo a boo-boo. Can't just flip it because it's not halfway on the page. So let's try this again. A little bit more adhesive. All right. Now if I go ahead and kind of overlap these pages exactly, then I will know where this goes. So we can see that it's going to go here. And that way it is. Let's see, does it match up? It does match up. Perfect. Whew. Crisis averted. Got a little adhesive there. I'm going to let that dry and then use an adhesive remover. And so now we can do the same thing. If we line this up right here, we need our other two pieces here. We want those lined up as well. All right. So that's going right there. It's going to come over a little bit. There we go. Oop. There we go. Just like that. And then we know this one goes directly underneath. I really shouldn't be gluing over my page because what happens if I slip? I haven't. Well, not when applying the glue to the strips anyways. That doesn't mean I couldn't. All right, let's take my adhesive remover. I mean, we're going to be sticking something over this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But there we go. All right. Now we're going to adhere our piece here. Let's see, that's going to go right here and cover up that other adhesive. I just love these colors together. I never really think, like I would have looked at this designer series paper and I wouldn't have thought to bring in the Misty Moonlight, which would have been a mistake because look at how pretty it is. All right, so I've got that. I'm going to, I know that this piece right here is going to come over here. And then I've got a photo here. Oops, nope, not that one. I've got the large one that's going to come up here. And then this small one is going to come over here like this. And it kind of comes up like that. So what I want to do here is, before I adhere this down, let's see, that's going to go about like that. Okay. So before I adhere this down, I need to stamp this large burst here in Darling Ducklings. So this large burst is this one right here. It looks like a firework. Baby, you're a firework. Is that how that goes? I think so. I'm going to ink it up, and we're just going to stamp it right at the top. It's going to go right here. My camera mount is in the way. There we go. And now we can just adhere our pieces. Doesn't matter whether you start from the bottom. It does give you some measurements, but I'm just eyeballing it based on where the grid paper is. So that's going to go there. Don't mind that the white piece is crooked. It's just temporary, remember? And we need one more piece. We have this piece right here that's also it's gonna go right in the center there. And I'm not putting that on with dimensional because you know what? I could, but my photo I think I'm gonna put on with dimensionals. So there's our sun. And now this is the largest photo, which seems to be maybe where we want to concentrate things. So I guess I could have moved this up a little bit. I can't anymore. That's going to be fine. We'll have a little bit of a larger gap here. It's because I started a little bit further down than I probably should have. I should have gone up a little bit more, but what I can do is I can put this up on dimensionals, or I can just lay it flat. You know what? I think I'm going to just lay it flat. But if you really wanted to call attention to this, putting it up on dimensionals will accomplish that. There we have that. I'm using my grid to kind of make sure it's straight. And then this one, this one's going to go right over here and centered top to bottom. And we're going to make sure that these are spaced evenly as well. So there we go. One last little piece, and that's this one right here. And all we're really going to have, oops, big blob there. All we're going to have left to do is add our photos and a couple of pieces that have to go over the top of them. So we will need to add this flower on right here, and we will, but what I could do is I could put the dimensional on the back of that now so that I don't have to do it later. There we go. So that's going to go there. And I think everything else is adhered. We're just, I'm going to, oh, where's my heart go? My heart, I also can't put that on right now. And the heart, I don't think it gets a dimensional. That just is going to go right over here on top of both the photo and this piece right here. So we're not going to do anything with that yet. because we don't have our photos in, and then we just need our numbers. So 7 and 5 and 6 go on this side. And the other ones go on the other side. So here are our 2 pages together, just missing the numbers for the photos. This is our left page, which means it can go on the back of the right page of our April spread. So this was our April spread, and we don't have to do any alterations to the page protector as we did in the April spread. We did some cutting, but none of that needed here. I'm just going to carefully slide that in, make sure it's not getting caught on any pieces. Oh, I knew it was getting caught on something because it was going in hard. All right, and we're going to put in our numbers 1, 2, 3. Where'd 4 go? Well, let's put in 1, 2, 3. When I find 4, I'll put in. Oh, 4 is right there. It's caught. So there's our numbers. Let's kind of put them towards the bottom so that they don't get caught behind these photo placeholders. Okay. And then we'll put this one in its own page protector, which will get filled on the other side with June. So after next month, we will be halfway there, halfway through this. And we're going to be taking a break pretty soon. At the end of the month, I'm going to start my 12 Sundays of Christmas event on Sundays. So Scrappy Sunday will go on hold while we do that. But there we go. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great week ahead. On Wednesday, all sorts of good things happen. There are new kits released, including the one that is going to be featured on World Card Making Day in October. There are new online exclusives, and there are new mini catalog products because there's a new mini catalog, the September to December one. And I can't wait to show you some of the fabulous products inside. We'll see you soon.